Interlanguage and error analysis. Interlanguage is the term used to describe each individual's own progress at learning another language. It's not possible for a teacher or researcher to know for sure what a student's interlanguage is regarding a particular language point because interlanguage is in the student's brain. We can examine evidence of their interlanguage through what they say and write, but that doesn't let us know how much subconscious understanding they have. Amazingly, every student learning another language follows the same basic development of language points in their interlanguage. Error analysis is the process of looking at the mistakes learners make and attempting to explain why they're making those mistakes. For example, learners studying ESL will acquire irregular past tense earlier than regular past tense. So, when a student says, "I caught the ball," error analysis seeks to explore whether they use the correct tense because they know it's the correct tense, such as in upper levels, or because they learned the word in that form, such as in lower levels. Furthermore, a learner who says, "I catched the ball," is further along in their language development than a beginner who says caught correctly, because they've learned a rule regarding ed endings and are overgeneralizing the rule. As teachers, it's unlikely most of us will memorize the natural order of second language acquisition. So, how do we deal with error analysis in the classroom? Experience will help, but also when teachers look at larger language samples than just one or two sentences, they can get a grasp for what the student knows and what they don't know. So that means providing opportunities for language production beyond simple fill-in-the-blank or repetition. Also, instructors need to be aware that while students may correctly apply language by rote memorization when it's first learned, they're unlikely to maintain that ability for very long without sufficient practice in a variety of ways. Similarly, recognize that once a student really learns a pattern, they're likely to overgeneralize it and use it for everything for a while. This should be praised by the instructor, even as the mistake is corrected. This shows an internalization or a change in their interlanguage that's moving forward towards fluency. However, ignoring the error can lead to fossilization in their interlanguage, meaning they get stuck at a certain point and continue making the same error throughout their life. Fossilized errors are extremely difficult to change. On the other hand, it's also important to know if the error is really real in their interlanguage and is going to stay, or if it's just a process of and a developmental step they're moving through. So the teacher needs to be aware of which one, and but it's better to err on the side of fixing the mistake. In summary, we explored interlanguage and error analysis in the classroom.